If you're wholesaling as a side hustle, these are the 3 mistakes you're doing. Check it out. Fam, what's up? Welcome back to the REI Wholesaling series. Let's talk about the top 3 mistakes that wholesalers do, right? If you're doing this as a side hustle and you don't have systems, processes, perhaps a team or a methodical way to find deals on a consistent basis, more than likely you're gonna be dropping the ball on these 3 things, all right? These are the most common mistakes I see people do over and over and over again. But before I jump right in, if you wanna find out more about wholesaling, go to reiwholesaling.com and download your free wholesaling course. It's a free course, no strings attached. You can download it and then go through the process of understanding how to wholesale the right way, get methodical, and actually build a business behind all your effort, time, sweat, and tears, right? So with that being said, let's talk about the number 1 mistake that people do. This is gonna be inconsistency in lead generation. Inconsistent lead generation kills everything. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how great your closing abilities are. It doesn't matter have you the best buyers list out in of the world, right? It doesn't matter if you're not generating leads on a regular, consistent basis. You're not going to be able to sustain the low periods of wholesaling. So the way it works is, so you'll get hit with a big payout, right? $30,000, $40,000. What that does psychologically usually takes people out of that survival state. So we get complacent. And then kind of sit it out for a week or 2. You know what? I got a big payday. I'm going to reward myself. I'm going to go in and then take a small vacation or whatever and stop all efforts, and I'll get back to it as soon as I get back. I promise I will get back to it as soon as I get back. And that's all fine and dandy. You might do that, but what happens is that you're putting a stall on everything that's actually flowing for you. So inconsistency in lead generation is one of the things that's going to kill your business. So take this to heart, right? It does not matter what's happening, rain or shine. If you got $1 million in payouts, do not stop lead generation. Every time you do that, you have to go back to square one, rebuild the pipeline, rebuild the follow-ups, and start all over again. Pretty much you're stopping and starting, stopping, starting your business. If you're a solo operation and you can't find that consistency because you're working leads, you're working a dispo process, you're whatever, right? You're trying to sell a deal. Something as simple as time blocking your day and generating leads through the morning, calling the follow-ups and generating money in the afternoons is gonna make a big difference in your business, right? It's not rocket science. It's about being a little bit more disciplined with the time, a little bit more intentional with the time. Now, if you do have a team, the easiest way to create consistency in lead generation, if you're cold calling, for example, is to hire a couple of VAs that keep putting leads out for you to pre-qualify and close, all right? So there's ways of doing it. There is no excuses as to why you need to stop your lead generation efforts. Now, with that being said, we're rolling into December, the holidays and all that stuff. Don't stop lead generation during the holidays. A lot of people do, and they miss out on some of the biggest, juiciest deals. Historically, our biggest deals have come during the months of November and December, so keep that in mind, right? Keep going, keep rolling with the lead generation. Keep it consistent. Don't stop for any reason, right? Mistake number 2, wrong offer thresholds. Depending on what market you're in, your thresholds or the offers, the amount of the offer that you're placing, like we call it the maximum allowable offer, has to make sense for that market. We, over the years, it's been kind of standardized where you do 70% minus rehab, minus your fee, and then you come up with a maximum allowable offer for a wholesale offer, right? So you end up with this number. It works if it's a primary market. So I like to segment any market that I tap into primary markets and secondary markets. Primary markets, anything over 300,000 people in population, metro area, so it doesn't have to be just the city, right? It can be the surroundings. Basically, there's over 300 people that you can approach about the property. And then secondary markets, it's anything below that. The numbers just change. Why? Because the activity is different, the level of buyer is different, how active the buyers are is very different. How well versed they are in different strategies of investments is also different. You're gonna find different just level or degrees of experience in buyers, usually depending on how big the market is or how small the market is, so keep that in mind. But offer thresholds is a big thing. So for primary markets, we keep it at 75%. So 75% minus rehab expenses minus our fee gives us the maximum allowable offer. If you go too low on primary markets, you're gonna get outbid by a lot of people out there, all right? People making better offers than yours. Now, if it's a secondary market and you go too high, like the standard regular price point, you're not gonna be able to sell the deal because they need deeper discounts. It's just how it works. It's crazy. Like sometimes you'll go into a market, you'll drop marketing, dollars into this, and then pull out a bunch of sellers. And at the end of the day, you get stuck with the deals that you can't move because they were not looking for 70%, 75%. They were looking for 60 or 65%, minus repairs and the rest of the stuff on there. So keep that in mind. Offer thresholds are really, really big. Not every market is the same. You have to be tapped into the comparables. You have to be tapped into the market activity. You have to be tapped into how long is it taking properties to sell, and put yourself in the buyer's shoes, right? In the fix and flipper's shoes. How long is it gonna take for a property to sell on average? And then just kind of adjust your price points to that sort of thing. Mistake number 3, not consistently or constantly building a buyer's list. Your buyer's list is gonna be your holy grail in wholesaling. If you have a good, solid, responsive buyer list, you're gonna be able to move all the deals. One thing that I see often too is I have 2 or 3 really good cash buyers. And I don't need any more because they're buying all my stuff. Yeah, well, you kind of become their employee after a while. They'll start, nickel and diming you on certain deals and pushing the buy offers down and lower and lower and lower. And eventually you get to this point where you're almost hostage, right, to the 2 or 3 buyers that you have if you're not building your buyer's list. Well, Rafael, I can't build a buyer's list because I don't have property, so I don't have the flow of deals on a consistent basis to be pushing that kind of stuff out there. If you have JV deals, if you're working with people in joint venture partnerships and they're sending you properties, use them, right? Use those properties to send it out to if you have a list of 10 people, turn that into a list of 15, turn that into a list of 20 people. Once you grow your list a little bit, try to exchange lists with another wholesaler in your market, right? That works, right? It's a win-win. It really creates, the flow of give and take in collaboration for starters, right? But also gives you a leg up because now you have a bunch of options on who you can sell your deals to. We have a 21-day dispo process in my business, and we go through this methodical structure every single day. Day 1, day 2, day 3, like every single day something different happens, right? And when we get past week 1, we're trying to sell a deal, it's because the thresholds are too high. Maybe it's a different area where we don't have those buyers, yet we'll still use that same property to send it out and then start logging callbacks, right? And building our buyers list consistently. Anytime you have a property under contract or with a JV, you have some type of vested interest, use that to build your buyers list. Sometimes we get to the point where we sell the deal within 30 minutes, right? Yet we still tell the buyer, hey, listen, you might see it out there because we're still gonna circulate it. 1, because we don't lock down deals with buyers until the EMD, the buyer's earnest money deposit, is at escrow. And then 2, because that property is gonna give us 2 or 3 more buyers that we can add to the list, right? So keep that in mind, consistently build your buyers list. Mistake number 1, inconsistency in lead generation. That's a no-no, big no-no. So segment or bring people to help you out with the consistency. Mistake number 2, wrong offer thresholds, because you're making offers based on different market activity, different levels, different purchase prices. Understand your market, know what that looks like. Mistake number 3 is gonna be not building your buyers list, right? So fix those 3 things. If you're wholesaling as a side hustle, more than likely you're falling victim to one of these 3 things. It's easy to get into it. Why? Because we lose the focus, right? We get our eye off the ball while we're trying to dispo, and we stop lead generation, we stop acquisitions, right? So that creates a gap in the business, and then you have this effect, like yay, nay, yay, nay. So good paydays, bad paydays, good paydays, no paydays. And all that stuff can be fixed through consistency, systems, processes, and understanding how to wholesale the right way, right? So with that being said, I hope you find those useful. Go to reiwholesaling.com, download your wholesaling course, free course, Wholesaling 101 course, and understand how to go through the process. If you're looking for coaching, also, get some info right there. You'll see the links, right? Stay focused, you got this.